My name is Sarah Owusu. My last name means strong-willed and determined, and it's not a meaning I was always aware of when I was younger. So when people ask me what my style is, I say it's Owusuism. I'm just really obsessed with colour. Colour just makes me so happy. I actually have a degree in psychology. Interestingly enough, I actually learnt about colour in psychology and the impact it has on mood and things like that. So generally, you know that if somebody's looking at blue or a specific shade of blue, they're going to probably feel quite calm. If they're looking at yellow, they're probably going to feel happy. And if they're looking at generally very bright colours, it overall just lifts up their mood. And so I wanted people to just look at my paintings and just feel happy. In 2012, I went to the dentist, as you do. When I got up from the chair, I noticed that half of my face had drooped, but I thought, okay, probably just the anesthetic, maybe I just need to go home and rest. Went home, and when I got in, I tried to drink some water, and it just seeped from the side of my mouth. I tried to eat something, and it just fell out. When I woke up the next day, my face was completely paralyzed. Completely paralyzed. To have your exterior completely shattered was very, very disheartening for me. But it's in this moment that I got the sudden urge to paint and pick up that paintbrush. So although that was a very difficult time for me, I'm glad I went through that, because had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be painting today, and I probably wouldn't have discovered my purpose. So it forced me to love myself within, which is something that I struggled with personally before. So yeah, that's why I paint today. I focus primarily on portraiture. I love to paint faces. A lot of the subject choices that I choose are historical figures, especially Black historical figures, because I like to teach and educate through my work. So I have a portrait of Kwame Nkrumah. I am from Ghana, and Kwame Nkrumah was the first president, and he was actually responsible for our country gaining independence in 1957. I've done a portrait of people like Rosa Parks. I have a portrait of Maya Angelou. Here again, I think everybody should know, a wonderful poet. When I was maybe in primary school, secondary school, when we go into art museums, galleries, one thing I quickly noticed that I became aware of, even from a young age, was that on the gallery walls, there was nobody on the walls who looked like myself. And even today, there's still a lack of representation on the art walls. When I have seen people who do look like myself on the walls in the galleries, they're often maybe the slave in the painting, a maid, or some sort of fetishized creature. And so I want to use my gift to change our story and to tell my own narrative from a primary perspective. Because I find that often our stories as Black people are often told from a secondary point of view, from people who look nothing like us, who don't understand us, but think they know us, when that's completely incorrect. Typically, in the Western world, someone who looks like myself with full lips, a wider nose, darker skin tone, maybe will not be deemed as beautiful. But I'm changing that, so all of my subjects that I've chosen for this piece have the full lips, have big eyes, have strong cheekbones, dark skin, because I'm trying to show that you don't have to have a pointy nose or a thin mouth to be beautiful. I like to celebrate just the richness in Blackness and melanin, because unfortunately we live in a society where the darker you are, the more poorly treated you are, the lighter you are, the more favoured you are. Once you have a strong, solidified why, you have to go for it, because there is no right or wrong time to start anything. But be wise, as in I'm not saying don't just go and quit your job. Like, I had to really plan this. I set myself a date when I was gonna leave, I saved and everything like that. But I think the most important thing is knowing your why.